Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Circle. We were solving the NSAA 2017 paper. We have done the first 4 questions. We're at question 5 now. And this is a question on ratio and proportion. Alright, now make sure that you are well prepared with the chapter on ratios and proportions, because ratio and proportion involves quite a lot of sub chapters within it. Okay, they are always capsuled and bundled as one chapter. So percentages, profit loss, discounts, simple interest, compound interest, all of these will go into ratio and proportion. Alright, so please make sure that you are well versed with the nitty gritties of the syllabus as well as the entire topic. Okay, the basic properties of ratios and proportions. Alright, so let us solve this. This falls under properties of proportions. Alright, so let's see what can we do to solve this. P is directly proportional to Q squared. Alright, so P is proportional to Q squared. So as you know, this implies P is equal to, this means P is equal to K into Q square. So when P is 2, Q is 4. Okay, so 2 is equal to K into 4 square. So this K is equal to 2 by 16, so 1 by 8. Alright, then what do we have? Q is inversely proportional to R. So Q is equal to inversely proportional, right? So 1 by R. That means Q is equal to some other M by R. When Q is 2, R is 5. So 2 means M by 5 implies M, the constant, is equal to 10. Okay, so what does our relation between Q and R become? Q becomes 10 by R. Alright, now these are the two relations that we have, 1 by 8 and 10 by R. So what do we need here? We need P in terms of R. So just replace the Q there. That should solve our problem. Let's check. So K is equal to 1 by 8. Okay, I did not write down the relation, right? So just let me write down the relation. So this will become now P is equal to Q square by 8. Alright, now we can solve it easily. So this will be the first relation, this will be the second relation, and our main job is to put that into this. Alright, so let us do that. P is equal to Q square 10 by R whole square into 1 by 8. So this becomes 100 by 8 R square. Now you will not find this option anywhere else. No, because this will be cancelled, right? So you cancel by 4, you will get 25 by 2 R square. So P is equal to 25 by 2 R square. I think you will get this in the options. Check. Do I get it? 25, yeah, option E. Okay, so as you can see, extremely easy, not very difficult. I was having a bit of difficulty because I was solving it for the first time and okay, this happens when you've been working for a long time, but you all are fresh and bright students. I hope you will not be making these errors. Anyway, you do not need to write all this. You can just do this mentally, because these two you can write mentally. Alright, after this, do this calculation in the rough space and you will get your answer. Alright, okay, question 6. Two sequences are defined by the following rules. In Sn, the nth term is 7n plus 1. In T, the nth term is 99 minus n square. Beautiful. What is the smallest value of n for which the nth term of sequence S is greater than the nth term of the sequence T? So basically 7n plus 1 greater than or equals, no, just greater than 99 minus n square, and nothing else is given, right? So no, by nothing else I mean the only thing that is given is n is an integer. So let us shift this. So if I shift it to the left, I'll get n square minus 99 plus 7n plus 1 greater than 0. So that makes it n square plus 7n minus 98 greater than 0. Okay, this is factorizable, 14 7. So n square plus 14n minus 7n minus 98 greater than 0. So this is basically n plus 14 into n minus 7 greater than 0. Now of course you will not have n equal to minus 14 as the answer, because that is not possible. So n equal to 7 will be the answer. That is option B. Alright, so option B, or did I mark option C? So in option B, in the 7th term, let us check the 7th term. I think the answer will be the next one, right? Smallest value of n, because it should be greater than 7. So a quick check. So 7n plus 1 gets you 50, and this gives you 50. Okay, so these are equal at 7. Alright, we want greater, so just mark the next one, C. Alright, so again, a very clever question. It just says where it will go greater. Alright, and the solution that you obtain is basically when at n equal to 7 they will be equal. Okay, I showed you, because 7n plus 1, 49 plus 1, 50, and 99 minus 49, 50. So in the 8th term, the first one will become 7 into 8, 57, and the second one will become 99 minus 64, that will give you 35. Okay, so it's evidently, it's completely greater, and therefore you have your solution. Alright, so again, quite easy questions, but there are pitfalls. Okay, they will trap you, and that is why the option 7 and 8 are there. Alright, so make sure that you are not landing into trouble, and if you need more practice, check out the links in the description. There are a few books that I've written, and a few more are under publication, so make sure you follow me on Amazon, and there you will get the updates regularly. Okay, with that being said, I'll end this video here. I'll meet you again for the next question, which is just speaking out from below. Okay, bye, take care.